Today I am explain about the working of diode RAM. ROM, sorry. ROM stand for read-only memory. Is the simplest kind of a memory. It is equivalent to a group of register, each permanently storing a word. By applying a control signals, we can read the word in any memory location. Read means to make the contents of the memory location appear at the output terminals of the ROM. So how ROM works? Read-only memory. It is also known as a firmware. Is an integrated circuit programmed with specific data. When it is manufactured, ROM chips are used not only in computers but in most of the other electronic items. So ROM is used in most electronic devices. In this article, you will learn about the different types of ROM and how each works. This article is one in a series of article dealing with computer memory and including how computer memory works, how RAM works, how virtual memory works, how flash memory works, how BIOS works. Let's start by identifying the different types of ROM. So ROMs are classified 5 basic types: ROM, PROM, EPROM, EEPROM, and flash memory. So these are the 5 different types of ROM. Each type has unique characteristics which you will learn about in this article, but they are all types of memory with two things in common. Data stored in this chip is non-volatile. It is not lost when power is removed. Data stored in this chips is either unchangeable or requires a requires a special operation to change unique, unlike a RAM which can be changed as easily as it is read. This means that removing the power source from the chip will not cause it to lose any data. RAM at work. Similar to RAM, ROM chips contain a grid of columns and rows, but where the columns and rows intersect, ROM chips are fundamentally different from RAM chips. while RAM uses transistor to turn on or off access to a capacitor at each intersection. ROM uses a diode to connect the lines if the value is 1. If the value is 0, then the lines are not connected at all. A diode normally allows current to flow in one direction and has a certain threshold known as the forward breakover that determines how much current is required before the diode will pass it on. In silicon based items such as processor and memory chips, the forward breakover voltage is approximately 0.6 volts. By taking advantage of the unique properties of a diode, a ROM chip can send a charge that is above the forward breakover down the appropriate column with the selected row grounded to connect at a specific cell. If a diode is present at that cell, the charge will be conducted through the ground, and under the binary system, the cell will be read as being on a value of 1. The neat part of ROM is that if the cell's value is 0, there is no diode at that intersection to connect the column and row. So the charge on the column does not get transferred to the row. As you can see, the way a ROM chip works necessitates the programming of a perfect and a complete data. When the chip is created, you cannot reprogram or rewrite a standard ROM chip. If it is incorrect or the data needs to be updated, you have to throw it away and start over. Creating the original template for a ROM chip is often a laborious process full of trial and error. But the benefits of ROM chips outweigh the drawbacks. Once the template is completed, the actual chips can cost as little as a few cents each. They use very little power, are extremely reliable, and in the case of most small electronic devices, contain all the necessary programming to control the device. A great example is the small chip in the shining fish toy. This chip, about the size of your fingernail, contains the 30-second song clips in ROM and the control codes to synchronize the motors to the music. Now the circuit diagram of the diode ROM. As shown in above PPT, the diagram of the diode ROM. So here it contains 8 different switches, means 0 to 7, and 5 voltage of power supply. And here different diodes are connected to the 4-bit data, and among that switch there are different resistors are connected, that means R0, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6 and R7. And here 4 different data bits, they are connected vertically, and these are the different outputs. So D1, D2, D3 and D4. Each horizontal row is a register or memory location. Here you can take first R0. So here the output of the ROM is the word D1, D2, D3 and D4. So here In switch position 0 means first one, a high voltage turns on the diodes in the R0 register. All other diodes are off. This means that a high output appears at D1 and D3. So here therefore here R not is equal to 1 0 1 0. So where the diode is connected, that means it is a flow of current it shows. So where the diode is not connected, that means it is 0. And next during the second switch, R1 is equal to first to D1 is 0, D2 is 0, and D3 and D4 are 1 1. And next during the first that is 0 switch, first switch, and second switch, then R2 is equal to, during the D1 output is connected, D2 also connected, D0 or D3 not connected, and D4 is connected. So that R2 is equal to 1 1 0 1. And next take third switch. So that means R3. So 1 2 3. So here D1 is connected, D2 is not connected, D3 is connected, D4 is not connected. So that means 1 0 1 0. Then during the fourth switch, D1 is not connected, D2, D3 and D4 are connected. So R4 is equal to 0 1 1 1. And next take fifth means that means during that switch, whenever that switch is shifted to the next position, here D1 is not connected, D2 is not connected, D3 also not connected, only D4 is connected. So that means R5 is equal to 0 0 0 1. And next take sixth position, sixth switch, then R6. So in this switch, D1 is connected, D2 is not connected, D3 is connected, and D4 is connected. So that means R6 is equal to 1 0 1 1. and take a sixth switch. So during that means R7 is equal to D1 is not connected, D2 is not connected, only D3 is connected and D4 also not connected. That means R7 is equal to 0, 0, 1, 0. So these are the here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are the addresses, and registers R0, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6 and R7 are the different registers, and their addresses are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and their memory location is first address contains the memory location is 1010, and second address contains the memory location 0011, and the second memory location contains the address memory is 1101, and a third address contains the memory is 1010. And third address contains the memory location is 1010, and fourth address contains the memory location is 0111, and the fifth address contains the memory location 0001, and the sixth address contains the memory location 1011, and the last seventh address contains the memory location 0010. That means here R0 to R7 are the memory registers, and 0 to 7 are the address, and the address contains the different memory location based on the given block diagram of the diode row. It will be decided based on the different diodes are connected to the outputs D1, D2, D3 and D4. So here with the discrete circuit we can change the contents of a memory location by adding or removing diodes. With integrated circuits, the manufacturer stores the words at the time of fabrication. The words are permanently stored once the diode are wired in place. So this is about the working of the diode row. Next, explain about the dynamic metal oxide semiconductor RAM cells. So the diagram of the dynamic mass RAM cell as shown in above PPT. So it contains the forward and reverse bias of different buffers. It is shown in above PPT. And now Dynamic RAM. RAM means random access memory. It stores the data as a charge on the capacitor, as shown the dynamic RAM cell in above PPT. A dynamic RAM contains thousands of such memory cells. Since only a single MOSFET means metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, and capacitor are needed. The dynamic RAM contains more memory cells as compared to static RAM per unit area. So the dynamic RAM contains the more memory cells compared with the static RAM per in a unit area. The disadvantage of dynamic RAM is that it needs refreshing of charge on the capacitor after every few milliseconds. This complicates the system design since it requires the extra hardware to control refreshing of dynamic RAMs. In this type of cell, the transistor acts as a switch. The basic simplified operation is shown in above PPT. The circuit consists of three tri-state buffers: input buffer, output buffer, and a refresh buffer. Input and output buffers are enabled and disabled by controlling a read or write line. When a read or write line is low, input buffer is enabled and output buffer is disabled. When a read or write line is high, input buffer is disabled and output buffer is enabled. With this basic information, let us see the read, write, and refresh operations. Write operation. To enable write operation, read or write line is made low, which enables input buffer and a disabled output buffer as shown in above PPT. To write a 1 into the cell, the input line is high and the transistor is turned on by a high on the row line. This allows the capacitor to charge to a positive voltage. Next, to write a 0 into the cell, a low is applied to the input line. The capacitor remains uncharged, or if it is storing a 1, it is discharges as indicated as shown in above figure. When the row line is made low, the transistor turns up and disconnects the capacitor from the data line, therefore storing the charge either 1 or 0 on the capacitor. Read operation. To read data from the cell, the read or write line is made high, which enables output buffer and disable input buffer. Then row line is made high. It turns transistor on and connects the capacitor to the output line through the output buffer. This is shown in above figure PPT. See. Next, to refresh operation. The circuit diagram of the refresh operation as shown in above PPT. Here, to enable a refresh operation, read or write line, row line and refresh line are made high. This turns on a transistor and connects the capacitor to column on line. As read or write line is high, output buffer is enabled and the stored data bit is applied to the input of a refresh buffer. The enabled refresh buffer then produces a voltage on a column and line corresponding to the stored bit and thus refreshing the capacitor as shown in above PPT. Dynamic RAM stores the data as a charge on the capacitor as shown in above PPT. A dynamic RAM contains thousands of such memory cells. Since only a single MOSFET and capacitor are needed, the dynamic RAM contains more memory cells as compared to the static RAM per unit area. So here for unit area, the dynamic RAM contains the more memory locations or cells and compared with the static RAM. The disadvantage of dynamic RAM is that it needs refreshing of charge on the capacitor after every few milliseconds. This complicates the system design since it requires the extra hardware to control refreshing of dynamic RAM. In this type of cell, the transistor acts as a switch. The basic simplified operation is illustrated from the above PPT. The circuit consists of three tri-state buffers: input buffer, output buffer and a refresh buffer. Input and output buffers are enabled and disabled by controlling a read or write line. So when a read or write line is low, input buffer is enabled and output buffer is disabled. When a read and write line is high, input buffer is disabled and output buffer is enabled. With this basic information, let us see the read, write and refresh operation as per the above given PPT circuits. Write operation. To enable write operation, read or write line is made low, which enables input buffer and disabled output buffer. To write a line into the cell, the input line is high and the transistor is turned on by a high on the row line. This allows the capacitor to charge to a positive voltage. To write a 0 into the cell, a low is applied to the input line. The capacitor remains uncharged, or if it is storing a 1, it is discharges as indicated in above PPT. When the row line is made low, the transistor turns up and disconnects the capacitor from the data line, therefore storing the charge either 0 or 1 on the capacitor. So here the difference between static RAM and dynamic RAM. Static RAM fabricated using bipolar and mass technology. Fabricated using mass technology only. And here the static RAM is made with the, so here the static RAM and dynamic RAM contains a main different, it is listed below. So find out one by one. So here static RAM contains less memory cell per unit area. Dynamic RAM contains more memory cells as compared to static RAM per unit area. Static RAM, it has less access time, hence faster memories. Dynamic RAM, it access time is greater than static RAMs. Static RAM consists of a number of flip-flop. Each flip-flop stores 1 bit. Dynamic RAM stores the data as a change on the capacitor. It consists of a MOSFET and the capacitor for each cell. Static RAM is faster in the operation and dynamic RAM is moderate in operation. In static RAM, refreshing circuit is not required. In dynamic RAM, refreshing circuit is required to maintain the charge on the capacitor. So here after Every few milliseconds, extra hardware is required to control refreshing. That makes system design complicated. In static RAM, power consumption is more. In dynamic RAM, power consumption is less. Static RAM cost is more, dynamic RAM cost is low. So this is about the working of diode ROM and working of dynamic mass RAM and differentiation static RAM and dynamic RAM. Thank you.